Welcome to the first Friday night frenzy of the football season. Tonight, just the scrimmage edition. I'm Rob Hughes alongside Andrew Pogar. We start things off in 2015 with a rivalry game here in West Lafayette.
That's right. The Red Devils making the short bus trip up the road to A.J. Rickert Field to take on the Harrison Raiders. The Raiders coming off a 7-win season in the first year of the Terry Peebles era.
And there he is, the man himself. Peebles coaching his guys, and whatever he said must have worked. Fourth down, Jaydan Sturgeon drops back, finds Joseph Frazier. And a short pitch and catch good enough to move the chains. A couple plays later, Dawson Danke takes it straight up the gut, just crossing the plane. Raiders on the board first. Red Devils turn, though, and RDP turning to the air. Mikey Kidwell throws a strike to Spencer Ranchetto. And watch out when he gets to the open field. Makes 4 different Raiders miss before he's finally dragged down. And if it works, go back to it. Kidwell, pretty sharp, throws a perfect ball to Henry Terhune, able to hang on for the long touchdown. Jaydan Sturgeon through the air on the first possession for the Raiders, but this time he's using his legs, and he's not a small guy. Plows through 3 Red Devils for the TD. Red Devils also effective down inside the red zone. The handoff to Travis Roll. He's barely touched on the 4th down touchdown run. Westside opens the season next Friday on the road at Tri-West. The Raiders also on the road. They play at Westfield.
Moving on across the Wabash to Lafayette Jeff. The Broncos under first-year head coach Brian Moore hosting Chesterton. First draft drive, Avery Walker takes the handoff and cuts inside. The junior takes it to the Chesterton 5-yard line, but the Broncos fail to score. Chesterton driving now. The Broncos bring the pressure. Matt Hill and Keaton Schreckengas team up to bring down the Trojan QB. Moments later, the Trojans go to the option. Rhett Rondinelli cuts inside, but Manny Luna causes the fumble, and the Broncos recover the rock. Oh boy, Jeff with the ball now. Dan Rixey is coming up. He's going to fake right, roll to his left. He's got the blockers in front of him, and he runs it in for the touchdown. A little later, Rixey coming up again. He fakes the give and goes up the middle for another score. It's the Broncos. They'll take on Twin Lakes in the season opener.
Over at North Montgomery, the Chargers were host to the McCutcheon Mavericks. Both teams working goal line situation. Here, Maverick Jr. A.J. Andrews barrels in for the score. On the next play, Charger defense showing up. Aaron Phillips lofts one up, but junior Nate Emmert gets a hand in there to prevent the score. Nice breakup. A little later, Phillips rolls out. Similar play, looking for Grant Dempster, but Ben Dugar just gets his hands in there. Fingertip on it. Mavericks ball still. Here, Levon Thompson takes a handoff outside. Cruises in from 10 yards out for the score. Pretty easy looking there. Chargers turn now on offense. Bailey Adams throws a dime to Alex Parsons. Nice grab and the 2 feet there. That play was so good they would look for Parsons once again, but don't want to give it away. Drew Rutherford is there to break it up. A lot of fade routes in this one. McCutcheon kicks off their season next week at Zionsville. The Chargers travel Benton Central for a matchup against the Bison. And that does it for the first half of the frenzy. 3 games down and 5 to go. Coming up, we'll make stops at Rensselaer, Twin Lakes, Seeger, Carroll.
And at Central Catholic, the Knights with visions of another state title hosting Frankfort. The Friday Night Frenzy will be right back. Stay with us.
We're back on the frenzy. For our next game, we head over to Central Catholic. The Knights have huge expectations this year. Of course, that's not much different than any other year.
Central Catholic moving down to Class A this season. The Knights hosting their scrimmage tonight against the Frankfort Hot Dogs. Avery Denhart tossing the pigskin for CC, but it would be the Hot Dogs that would be flinging it deep to start off. Jared Smith working out of the shotgun. He flies it deep to Dylan Shelley, who hauls it in for the touchdown. A little later, Smith looking to do it himself, but that would be a bad idea. Race Fisher hauls him down for no gain. CC now on offense. Denhart will hand it off to Brandon Yagi. The senior makes a move and cruises in for the score, practically untouched. Denhart working out of the gun this time. The junior with all day to throw. He finds Ben Tharp around the 20-yard line. Tharp is going to break for the first tackle at the 5 and dive in for the end zone. The refs call it good. Touchdown. Luke Busick there to help Tharp up. The Hot Dogs hand it off then to Justin Velasquez. But no dice. Ethan Schrader drives him back and puts him down. The Knights will host Delphi next week, while the Hot Dogs will take on Western.
In Rensselaer, the defending 2A state champion Bombers hosted the Vikings of North White early on. Rensselaer displaying their trademark reversal. Senior Garrett Eldridge jukes his way to a 60-yard touchdown. for the first score of the game. We've seen a lot of that last year, and it looks like we might see some more this year. A little later, the pitch goes to Sam Ayler, the Impaler.
The Impaler
Pokes a huge hole in the defense. Ayler also had a lot of tackles on defense. The Vikings move the ball well, too, and junior quarterback Jake Quasbarth, it's his receiver for one of the longest completions of the night. In the later part of that scrimmage, Q scrambles and lofts it up, and going to hit his man again. This time inside the 5-yard line. He's driven back, though. On the other end, sophomore Jordan Owens makes it look easy. Bomb Squad established their run game in this one like they often do and remain undefeated after this scoreless preseason game.
We head over to Indian Territory where Twin Lakes hosted the Frontier Falcons for their first Friday scrimmage. Colt McCracken gets a high snap, gets it down, and gets it to Winter Berghardt, and he turns on the afterburners and gets the easy touchdown. Now for the Indians. Junior running back Chris Goodlow gets the ball in the backfield, hits the defender's snooze button. He is gone.
That's a stiff one.
He runs in Twin Lakes' first touchdown of the scrimmage. Another high snap coming up for McCracken. He shrugs it off just fine and will get the quick pass down for another Falcon touchdown. Check it out. McCracken calm, cool, and collected. Nice little out route there. Once more for the Indians. Blake Bennington rolls out wide with no one open. He tosses it to the big man, tight end Dane Holmes. He takes 3 Falcons to drag him out of bounds. Twin Lakes will host Lafayette Jeff next Friday, while Frontier will be playing at Clinton Prairie.
From Monticello to West Lebanon, Seeger hosting Delphi early on. The Oracle's quarterback, Weston Wendell, just letting it fly, a lot like Mikey Kidwell. The junior finds Blake Carroll, and the number 34 beats the opposing 34 for the 65-yard touchdown. Impressive Oracle debut for Carroll, who is just a freshman. Josh Strasser and his coaching staff taking notice. As for Seeger, the Patriots' running game looking strong. Alexander McMahon with the gift to Bennett Sprague, and he does the rest, finding the end zone. The sophomore was not finished here on the dive. He shakes off a couple would-be tacklers. Sprague finished with 3 TDs on the evening. But how about some defense? Wendell trying to make something out of nothing when Delphi gets the ball, and Devin Acton undercuts the route for the interception. Seeger opens up the regular season on the road against Rockville. Delphi kicks off its regular season at Central Catholic.
We head over to Carroll County. The Carroll Cougars hosting the Attica Ramblers. Trey Philbrun took a big hit from Hunter Eads of Attica High as he scrambled in the pocket but could not find the open receiver. On the next play, Philbrun rolls right and gets a block from number 54, Austin Ford. You gotta love it. He connects with number 9, Quentin Beach for a nice gain. Somebody tackle him, but Ford will be called for the holding penalty. A few drives later, Philbrun, looking like a pro-style quarterback, he puts a spin move on a defender and ends up taking the rock all the way to the end zone for the 15-yard touchdown run.
That's a flash.
Ramblers quarterback Logan Hermison connects for a 30-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Austin Durham, who walks into the end zone untouched by the defense. Hermison then takes the snap and runs a counter with Owen Smith, who gets jammed by the Cougars' defensive line. After the play, Smith gets up limping but walks back to the huddle under his own power. Good news for the Ramblers. Attica will face off against Riverton Park next week, while Carroll will take on Tri-County. That's all 8 games of our scrimmage edition of the Friday Night Frenzy. When we come back, West Lafayette head coach Shane Fry joins us in the Coach's Corner.
The Red Devils start the season on the road next week. We'll take a look at the first part of their schedule and talk more about tonight's scrimmage against the Raiders. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Frenzy. Joining us tonight, West Lafayette head coach Shane Fry.
Coach, thanks for being here. Obviously, just a scrimmage night tonight, so no big deal. But what'd you think about your guys against Harrison?
I thought we played hard, and most important, we came out healthy. So,
you can't argue with that.
Yeah.
This game tonight was kind of like the culmination of your preseason. What's impressed you the most over these last couple of weeks?
It's so nice to actually get out and hit another team. It's so old playing against yourself over and over. Doing the summer things, the 7-on-7 is great, but until you get to go out and tackle another team, and then you find out a lot of things. And when we watch the film, I'm sure we'll learn more. But it's good. The guys are ready to go, and this preseason practices went pretty fast, and now all of a sudden week 1 is a week away. So,
what's your number one goal when you go into a scrimmage like this? You're a week away. You obviously don't want to give away. You're playing a tough opponent. You want to give away any of the plays or tricks you might have up your sleeve. But what do you try to get out of a scrimmage?
There's a lot of guys who we have not seen in varsity competition. Maybe they're JV guys or maybe they're new to football, and we want to see them against the big boys. on Friday nights instead of Mondays or Tuesdays. So that we really want to see that. Obviously, we want to protect our starters, make sure we come out healthy, have a little bit of a game plan in there, and kind of script our plays and do what we do on defense and get through it, and we did. So we're happy.
Speaking of one of those new guys, we know now Carlisle to be pretty good on the basketball court, but how would you assess his play thus far throughout preseason?
Pretty good. He's not brand new to the sport. He played a while ago, but it's been many years and many basketball games in between. So he's fun to watch. I mean, he's very athletic. He's fit in great with the guys, and it's going to be fun to see him progress throughout the year.
The one thing I could assess from seeing your guys is it looks like the Jaden Sturgeon kind of got out to the outside and some of the running backs too. Is that something to look at defense-wise, that it just looked like the guys found the edge a little easier than you probably would like?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go back and watch the film. Harrison did a lot of good things. Coach Peoples is doing a great job, and his staff, they're doing really well over there. And they definitely showed us some things that we'll need to look for and get better at.
Sure.
As we take a look at your upcoming schedule,
see if we can put it up there. Tri-West, first team. Obviously, you guys had a pretty crazy game against them last year in the first week of the season. They're pretty good again this year. What do you need to do to come out with a win on the road?
It's going to be tough. They're amazing. We're watching them in the state championship last year, and it seemed like every single kid was a junior or sophomore. They only graduated a couple kids, so they're going to be really good. But we're up to the challenge. I mean, we talked about it today. We love the challenge of going on the road and going against a great team. So, our guys will be ready to go.
Still only a week away, but what is the message to your team for that first game of the season?
Well, I think it's going to be that we're going to look at this Harrison film and know there's a lot of little things that we need to improve on so we can be competitive in that game Friday night. And that's the great thing about the scrimmage. You find out a lot about your team.
Is it weird just having McCutcheon behind there? It's something, just first two very difficult games, but also like you want to just focus on Tri-West, and McCutcheon's right there.
It is. It's very difficult. And then the other odd thing is in Indiana, if we win them all or lose them all, you're still in the playoffs, and it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But seems like this year every week is a big game for us.
Yeah, and I know you guys will not treat it as if it doesn't matter. Those are two very big games. Thanks for joining us. Best of luck on the road next week against Tri-West, of course. We'll have the highlights from that one and many more.
Make sure to check out our website, WLFI.com, and click on the Sports tab for all highlights from tonight's scrimmages.
Have a great night. We'll see you next week.